abreast, you got them four abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Dre Broadcasting Network as we go side by side with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, and that's the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series. And tonight we have traveled to Michigan International Speedway for round number 3 here with the PRL American iRacing Sunday Series. I'm a commentator, Sean Zulu, and joining me up in the Dre Broadcasting booth as usual is David Everly. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great, Sean. Ready for some action here at Michigan.
Absolutely, man. A 2-mile track after coming from a less than 1 mile track last week. Richmond International, which is 0.75 miles in length to 2 miles. This is quite a difference in length. And Dave, what are we dealing with tonight?
Alright, taking a look at tonight's weather, we've got a nice cool night, 78 degrees, track temperature of 104, the wind northwest at 2 miles an hour under clear conditions.
Yep, that track temp is a little bit on the high side here tonight. Like David said, 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh man, that's gonna make things extra interesting when it comes to those tires and the handling of these machines every single lap, with a difference in, I should say, with the changing track conditions every single lap. And I did touch on the last week's race, Richmond International. That was the Ford Entertainment Group Shifter and Handbrake 95 at Richmond. And in that race, we had Johnny Pierce bring it home for his first win of the season. Johnny Pierce first, and he is representing the Simtech Racing team. James O'Brien came out second with Road Trip Racing. Eddie Hawks came out third with Simtech Racing. So 2 Simtech Racing drivers finished in the podium last week, and that was Eddie Hawks and Johnny Pierce. Paul D. Johnson, former Big D's Racing driver, finished 4th, but now this season Paul D. Johnson is with Road Trip Racing with James O'Brien. We had Craig Hawkins finish 5th, and Craig Hawkins representing the Blown Gasket Racing. Dale Robertson, Simtech Racing, finished 6th. We have Kyle Souza, who finished 7th with Overclock Motorsports. Caught on the Lane finished 8th with Overclock Motorsports. John LaBeouf finished 9th with No Fear Racing. We had 10th place, Stephen Harry finish in 10th place once again, representing the Overclock Motorsports team. So we had 3 drivers from Overclock Motorsports finishing in the top 10. At the same time, 3 drivers with the Simtech Racing team finish in the top 10 as well. Well, moving on to our current point standings, the driver leading in points here this far is James O'Brien. James O'Brien here, once again in the lead with the Road Trip Racing team. Craig Hawkins, 2nd place in points with the Blown Gasket Racing team. 3rd place driver Dale Robertson, Simtech Racing, and right behind Dale Robertson in 3rd place is his teammate Johnny Pierce, Simtech Racing team. Paul D. Johnson, 5th place in points, Road Trip Racing. Kyle Souza, Overclock Motorsports in 6th. John LaBeouf, No Fear Racing 7th. Eddie Hawks, Simtech Racing team 8th. Josh Mayu, 9th with the Ford Entertainment Group. Stephen Harry, 10th place in points with the Overclock Motorsports team. Well, moving on to tonight's race here at Michigan International. So far, the drivers are qualifying here. And our post sitter at the moment is the 10 of Daniel Wilborn. We actually missed Wilborn last week at Richmond International, but he was there, the first race of the season at Daytona International. And Daniel Wilborn is one of the aliens from last season, so it has a lot to offer here this season in terms of competition against all these drivers as they all try to go towards the road or the path of getting the championship or dethroning the existing defending champion 48 of Markel Murphy. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, last season here with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, we did crown a new champion, the 48 of Markel Murphy. It doesn't seem like Markel Murphy will be racing this season, but hopefully we are wrong. We will find out here before too long. And the team, once again, that won the team championship standings, because they do have a team championship standing going on as well, racing going on. And last season we had Ford Lane Motorsports bring it home, and that team included Jeffrey Ford, Stephen Mattox, Zachary York, and Colton Lane. But this might not be the same team this season, as they do change things up every single season. Well, we are currently gridding up, so we are going to give the drivers a few seconds before we go down the list. Well, ladies and gentlemen, last season's alien here, the 10 of Daniel Wilborn is the post hitter. The 9 of James O'Brien, current points leader, 2nd. The 3, Dale Robertson, this season's alien, 3rd. The 16, Johnny Pierce, 4th. That's 37 of Dustin Hall, 5th. The 99 of Brandon Walter, 6th. We have the 45 of Eddie Hawks, 7th. The 33 of David Dreckman, 8th. The 41 of Chris Perez, 9th. The 94 of Stephen Harry, 10th, rounding up the top 10. 11 of Brandon Massey, 11th. The 28 of Eric Roberts, 12th. The 60 of Colton Lane, 13th. The 61 of Josh Mayu, 14th. The 27 of Danny Duchesne, 16th. The 35, just 15th. Rory Collins, 16th. Jim Westerfield, 17th. The 44 of Donovan McCart, 18th. The 00 of Kyle Souza, 19th. And Zach York, that's Zachary York from last season, starting 20th. 95 of Jeffrey Ford, 21st. Stephen Mattox, 22nd. We have Stephen Aguiar, 23rd. Paul D. Johnson, 24th. Ken Caruthers, 25th. John LaBeouf, 26th. We have Stephen Water, 27th. David Phillips, 28th. Craig Hawkins 29th, Trevor White 30th, David Flowers 31st, and Ronald McManus 32nd, and giving us a 32 car field here tonight at Michigan International Speedway. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they're typing up in the chat. I do see a couple of names. Gonna give a couple of shout-outs here before we go green real quick. We do have Abbas Ladak in the chat. Abbas Ladak, welcome back, buddy. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. And Sean Timmerman had to have an emergency surgery. Oh, Sean, man, sorry to hear about that. We hope you're doing well, man. We look forward to seeing you back here before too long after the next 2 weeks, because PRL is off for the next 2 weeks. And we are now going green as we speak. That pace car dips off, and Wilborn still holding pace with the green flag is out, and Wilborn bounces down to that apron 3. Robertson trying to take advantage of that. No, he backs it down this time around, but the 9 of James O'Brien, the Napa Auto Parts Chevy on the outside line, trying to make some moves against Daniel Wilborn. We are green this time around. Lap 1, Michigan, round 3. And here as we speak, 99, Brandon Walter trying to make some moves, trying to catch up to 45 of Eddie Hawks. Eddie Hawks did lose 1 spot, it looks like, to the 37 of Dustin Hall, and he's trying to take that back. Actually, Dustin Hall, Eddie Hawks has moved up 1 spot, and overtaken the 99 of Walter. And for the back in the pack, 94 of Stephen Harry, 33 David Dreckman were battling side by side, but they are now single file on the exit to turn number 2 on the front, on the backstretch to turn 3. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network. For the new viewers out there, the existing and or returning viewers, welcome back to the Dre Broadcasting Network. We are glad to have you all, and please be active in the chat, type it up, say something, say hello. We will gladly give you a big shout out. If you are rooting for one of the drivers here tonight, let us know exactly who, and we are going to keep you updated all race long. And as we speak here this time by Dave, so much single file going on. We talked about last week at Richmond how with the new iRacing update, the tires do end up fading away a lot more than before. With that said, Dave, a lot of smart driving is taking place.
Yeah, they're just trying to get a feel for it here. Tire wear is definitely going to be picking up, so right now they're just kind of running single file, getting a feel for the track.
Yep, and with this track being this long, 2 miles in length, and so many straight stretches, the back stretch, the front stretch, these drivers do take advantage of the draft the best that they can. And as we see, I've been noticing a lot of drivers here in between turns number 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. These drivers are not going all the way to the bottom, and that's because the bottom is very, very loose. They're all riding at least 1 groove higher, or maybe 2 grooves higher, trying to stay alive. So much action takes place when these drivers end up going into the groove that they're avoiding, and that is never a good thing. In the tri-oval, some drivers are battling it out here. That is going to be... try and get some numbers on these drivers. Looks like that was the 99 of Brandon Walter and the 45 of Eddie Hawks. Looking there in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, one of our drivers here with the Precision Racing League this season, Sean Timmerman, has been badly injured and had to have surgery. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep Sean in our prayers for a speedy recovery, that is. So Sean, buddy, no, nothing to worry about. Everything will work out, man. Just stay strong, buddy. Stay strong. And once again, it's good to see you. For the back in this pack 41 of Chris Perez. Chris Perez right now makes a pass against the 99 of Brandon Walter. At the exact same time, Perez is helping the 60 of Coton Lane. These drivers working together for common good with the help of the draft to try and benefit each other. And so far, their next victim or opponent in this case, actually no, victim is a good word to use, is a 33 of David Dreckman. David Dreckman in turn trying to pounce on the 11 of Massey and the 45 of Eddie Hawks.
Yeah, it looks like these front five, though, have pulled away from the rest of the field here. As we see the 9 of James O'Brien. Eddie Hawks sitting back there in 6th. He's about a second and a half behind James O'Brien. So these front five, they're fast because they have pulled away from the rest of the field.
Oh yes, they have, and this could be their strategy, Dave. Them trying to get as far away from the rest of the field as they possibly can. So when it comes down to it, they can have a battle amongst themselves, which is way easier than having so much traffic to deal with so close to them. And these drivers here do have full tanks, so we'll be going. They can put down a lot more laps on these tires and tanks than they would before. Well, in this case, only tanks. So which means we'll be pitting in a little bit later than we usually would before when it comes to last season and the season before that, having a 60% fuel limit. But once again, this season, no fuel limit, but we should have at least one pit stop required. And a new viewer in the chat, that's Sammy Holmes. The 4 of Sammy Holmes, if you will, from last season. Great to see you there, Sammy. Hope you're doing well, man. And for the back in this pack, some drivers just pretty much taking it easy. Well, I spoke too soon. The 911 of John LaBeouf is trying to make some moves. And John LaBeouf has moved up a couple of spots here this far so far. His next victim so far being the 29 of Jim Westerfield. Jim Westerfield here is riding single foul. John trying to defend his spot against 23 of Craig Hawkins. A very, very big threat. Craig Hawkins sitting second place in points behind James O'Brien, starting tonight to race. As we speak, Hawkins is occupied, his inside is occupied by the 19 of Zach York in that Call of Duty World War II Toyota Camry. Oh no, Zach York goes a little bit too low, sideways action, off turn 2, no harm done to anybody else but himself. He will go from about 19th place to 22nd in one lap, in one turn. Yep, once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's pay attention to this. These drivers all riding one groove higher, trying to not be a victim of the sideways action, the very, very deadly sideways action, going over 180 plus miles per hour. That is always a recipe for disaster, and these drivers trying to avoid that the best that they can. And 77 of Ken Carruthers' machine, Dave, has seen better days. Right front damage already.
Yeah, must have got into the wall a little bit, but looks like he's doing pretty good at holding, just hoping to get a caution here, because here at the Precision Racing League, they don't have any backup cars.
Oh no, they do not. They'll go old school, hammering all the damage out, trying to straighten those machines out. So these drivers trying to stay alive, trying to be there for the long run, for the very end. And already I'm seeing a lot of drivers getting very, very loose. For example, 27 of Danny Duchesne was having some extra trouble entering turns, taking turns 3 and 4. But right now he has seemed to have settled down, stabled. And that's one thing we forgot to mention, is that these drivers, for the new viewers out there, these drivers do run open setups here with the Precision Racing League as of last season and this season. So pretty much we have some machines that are loose and some that are tight and some are balanced.
Yeah, most definitely so. I mean, open setups, everybody's running their own little setups, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yes, we do, and we always we talked about last week too when we were interviewing the some drivers up here in the booth. They were thanking their teammates out there, helping them build amazing setups, also helping make their success possible. Oh no, Dan Duchesne sideways off turn 2 off the track. He's gonna smack the wall. No, he has it under control. Oh man, that was way too close for Ken Dave. Let's please back it up on Duchesne and see what happened.
Well, as we pull up the Dre Broadcasting replay, we're going to take a look here at Daniel Duchesne. It looked like he just got loose there on the exit of the turn as he was running side by side with the 77 of Ken Carruthers. He's running that low to mid lane there, coming out of the turn. Yep, the back end just kicked loose. However, he's able to get it back under control and keep it off the wall.
Oh man, that could have been disastrous, but great save by Danny Duchesne, keeping us green flag racing. And as we speak, Mr. Duchesne is trying to make up for lost time. Only 14 laps in, and mighty loose. That is never a good thing. So as we speak here, Duchesne is really communicating with his pit crew and his teammates to try and figure out exactly what they can do to try and counter the looseness of the machine. And the good thing is, once he goes down pit road, they will be able to work on the machine. It's like, oh no, he's loose again as we speak. That was almost ugly. He is trying his best to keep it under control, and now he has no choice but to just back it down in the turns even more. He's losing a lot of time doing it, but it is safe. Women's spoken match of the 14 of Paul D. Johnson tonight. If any but Johnson has had a rough start to tonight's race, in currently 2 laps down in 27th place, same as the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. Jeffrey Ford did lose connection, unfortunately. Actually, same with the 14 of Johnson. Both drivers are now back in the simulation and are racing the best that they can, trying and hoping to get their laps back the hard way. So 2 laps down, Paul D. Johnson. Jeffrey Ford, 7 laps down. That is very, very unfortunate. We hope their races do end up turning around for the better before the night is over here. And we have 80 laps remaining and 16 laps complete, and the leader 10 of Daniel Wilborn is pulling away. He's being shown 1.3 seconds behind second and third place drivers Johnny Pierce and James O'Brien.
Yeah, I tell you what, Daniel Wilborn, though, I mean, he has pulled out to a gap here. He has figured something out here. He has pulled away from Johnny Pierce probably about 1.2 seconds back. But James O'Brien, though, he is right there on Johnny Pierce, as it looks like he is going to try to the inside, as they are going to be side by side down the long backstretch.
Yep, James O'Brien to the inside. He will stay one groove high. He makes that pass successfully against Johnny Pierce. And Pierce, oh man, Pierce very, very loose off the exit of turn 4. And he was trying to do the crossover move against O'Brien, but his plans fell apart once that machine kicked sideways. That's very unfortunate, but nice save. That definitely could have been a lot worse, but once again, nice save. We are still green flag racing, and James O'Brien so far seems to be increasing his lead every single lap as we speak. And Dave One, driver on pit road 21 of Trevor White.
Yeah, down on pit road here, 18 laps. Also, it looks like the 35 machine, he is down on pit road as well. Not sure if they're at the pit window or if they're just trying to short pit here to make up positions. But yep, green flag pit stops have started here on lap 18.
Actually, Dave, yeah, we just might be too early. Looks like the 2 drivers we spoke of on pit road, Rory Collins and Trevor White, have one thing in common: heavy damage on their machines. And with that said, that is going to affect their top end and the rotation of the machines, which is very, very important here at a track like this, 2 miles long, Michigan International Speedway. But one more driver joining them, that is 11 of Brandon Massey with a brand new machine. So yes, the pit window has opened. We have verified that. That is the Pony Life machine by Brandon Massey, well dressed and very colorful. And Brandon Massey, 4 tires, full tank of gas, spent 14.7 seconds on pit road. That is a pretty quick pit stop. So if that is the case, that these pit stops are kicking in, It's only a matter of time before the leaders up front start to pit in. And as we speak here this time around, we have some drivers very, very close in the draft. Here we have Stephen Harry, 41 of Chris Perez, 33 David Dreckman, 60 of Cotton Lane. And these three drivers here, Stephen Harry, Chris Perez, David Dreckman, riding single file. Everybody seems, Dave, to have changed their race lines, riding middle to high and not low to middle anymore.
Yeah, changing up their lines as the run goes along, as the 21 and 35 still down on pit road. So this will be interesting to see here. 75 laps to go here tonight, as we have just now completed lap 20 coming to the 21.
Coming to lap 21 with 75 laps remaining. The race is still young, and some drivers definitely hoping for a caution or two so they can be able to get either their laps back or just be back with the rest of the pack. Because as we speak here, Brandon Massey is one lap down. Well, he'll be getting his lap back once everybody pits in. But Paul D. Johnson, Rory Collins, Trevor White, Jeffrey Ford, these drivers more than one lap down, unfortunately, due to some bad luck there early on. And as we speak, some drivers here, 28 of Eric Roberts. Eric Roberts is right behind the 45 of Eddie Hawks at the exact same time. They are about 3 to 4 seconds ahead of the 00 of Kyle Souza.
Yeah, still just kind of riding, still a long race though. I mean, we've been green flags, so we're getting a good green flag stint here. 22 laps they have on their tires and tanks here. A few have pitted, such as Brandon Massey. Rory Collins still down on pit road as we speak. He is currently being shown 5 laps down, but Brandon Massey 1 lap down. Not sure if he went down to get damage fixed or if this was part of his strategy, but he is sitting back in 24th.
Yep, and as we speak, since Brandon Massey already pitted in, he is taking names, ladies and gentlemen. Brand new tires overtaking these boys as though they're sitting on jack stands. That's never a good thing, but it's a great feeling for Massey. And he's on the inside of 94 as we speak. That is going to be the 94 of Stephen Harry next. Victim 941 of Chris Perez gets around them. They do stay high and no fight. And one more driver on pit road, 78 of Ron McManus, pitting in with 24 laps on his tires this time around. But up front, Daniel Wilborn is now 1.7 seconds ahead of second place driver James O'Brien. And last time we had checked, he was about 1.4 seconds ahead of O'Brien. So that has increased over time. And as we speak here, Daniel Wilborn is very, very loose as well and has backed it down as a result. And Dave, if we can, let's please ride with the 10 of Daniel Wilborn and see exactly how he's handling the clean air. Oh man, yep, Daniel Wilborn is definitely trying to not spin out. That machine is very, very tail happy all of a sudden on the entrance of these turns, specifically turn number 1 and turn 3, and is trying his best to be as careful as he possibly can, trying to arc it in nice and low without any force whatsoever, because if he does force it too much, that will be disastrous. Yeah, great driving so far by Daniel Wilborn. And Dave, despite his looseness, oh, he goes sideways off turn 4. He loses all his speed momentum, but no harm done to anybody but himself. Unfortunately, when it comes to that time-wise, he was 2.1 seconds ahead of James O'Brien, but that now has decreased to 2 seconds. So a 10th has been shaved off that one lap, and one more driver on pit road, 77 of Ken Caruthers, now rolling off.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, Sean. It's kind of early. It seems like for a pit stop, 27 laps. So we'll have to see if this is all part of their strategy as we go here back towards the back of the field. Taking a look at some of these other drivers that are out here. Looks like they're all pretty single file and pretty spread out.
Yeah, very, very spread out, and they'll become even more spread out once those green flag pit stops, once the majority of the field starts to go down pit road. And yeah, that was very interesting, Dave. You know, these drivers up front, well, more than half the field, the majority of the field, basically having over 27 laps on their tires, while drivers like 11 of Massey there, 77 of Ken Caruthers pitting in way early, actually 10 laps before these drivers. Well, 10 laps ago in this case, and that is increasing with every single lap. So that is quite the strategy. And hopefully we're gonna see exactly how that affects them, if any.
Yeah, most definitely. As we take a look here at the blimp at most of the field, we got a nice little pack here. It's got Chris Perez, Stephen Harry, Colton Lane, Brandon Walter leading it, but got a little pack here as it looks like it's going to be the 21 machine. He is going to be working around, but I think, yep, that's Trevor White. He is currently 5 laps down.
Yep, Trevor White did spend some time on pit road getting some of that damage fixed, and that machine doing quite well. That is a Toyota Camry. It has seen better days, but he is still pushing, trying to counter the damage with his heavy foot at the exact same time. The draft of 99 of Brandon Walter. Here as we speak, entering turn number 3. And the 21 of Trevor White is closing in at a fast rate against 99 of Brandon. And side by side off turn 4. And we have the 44 of Donovan McCart. Donovan McCart here is very, very loose as well. He does have some damage on his machine as one driver goes down pit road with 29 laps on his tires. That's a 9-11 of John Labatt pitting in this time around. But 44 of Donovan McCart is still going around one more time. Yeah, majority of the field pitting in as we speak. Johnny Pierce, Dustin Hall, Dale Robertson. We have Eddie Hawks, Craig Hawkins all down pit road as we speak. And Donovan McCart as well, backing that sucker down, going down pit road. This time around, it's only a matter of time before the leader up front, Danny Wilborn, pits in. But nope, he goes around one more time, now having 32 laps on his tires.
James O'Brien, though, he is coming down on pit road as we speak. Looks like David Dreckman, he is going to back it down. Brandon Walters coming down on pit road as we speak. Colton Lane is going to stay out, though.
Yep, Colton Lane staying out. Is going to be taking over the second place spot away from the 9 of James O'Brien. Gonna see exactly how this plays out here. Colton Lane trying to make up some time, but he will lose all that time again once those drivers who have pitted in, James O'Brien, Stephen Harry, well actually James O'Brien here, David Dreckman, Brandon Walter, Chris Perez, these drivers have fresh stickers. So Colton Lane is trying to make up as much time as he can. At the same time, his pit stop will be very, very important. He's going around one more time. Yes, Colton Lane going around one more time with 33 laps this time around. But the leader, 10 of Wilborn, is on pit road as we speak.
Yes, he slides into his pit stop here. His pit crew getting busy to work. Colton Lane staying out. Looks like Zach York is going to stay out. Right now, Josh Mayu, looks like he stayed out as well. So we still got quite a few cars that need to come down on pit road.
Oh yes, we do. And Colton Lane here. Colton Lane, Zach York, Josh Mayu, like you talked about. These drivers also most likely trying to run these tanks dry. And Colton Lane is backing it down as we speak, going down pit road. But the driver behind him, that's going to be Josh Mayu.
That's going to be Zach York.
Yep, that's Zach York. Zach York decided to go around one more time. And Dave, that gives us a new race leader lap 34, 62 laps remaining. Zach York. We have Josh Mayhew second, Cotton Lane being shown third, but he keeps getting bumped down. Jim Westerfield fourth, and Danny Duchesne rounding up the top 5. So far, only 4 drivers needing to pit in for their first round of pit stops, namely Zach York, Josh Mayhew, Jim Westerfield, and Danny Duchesne. But up front here, Zach York deciding to go around one more time now. Lap 35 with 60 laps remaining. Josh Mayhew staying out. Jim Westerfield staying out. Danny Duchesne staying out. The exact same strategy. And as we speak here, the drivers did roll off the pit road. James O'Brien, Daniel Wilborn, Cotton Lane, Johnny Pierce, Brandon Massey, Dustin Hall, Dale Robertson, David Dreckman, Brandon Walter. And as we speak here, status check between the 2 drivers we were focused on before the pit stops kicked in. The top 2 drivers, O'Brien and Wilborn. Oh, the caution flies on lap number 35. Gonna see exactly who might have been involved.
Unfortunately, it's going to be involving the 78 of Ronald McManus. As we put the Dre broadcast and replay, let's take a look here, focusing on Ronald McManus. See if we can see exactly what happened. As we take a look at Ronald McManus coming through the turn, I can't exactly see exactly what happened there. As the 94 was working to come around him, looks like he just got loose, sat back in, kicked around, and unfortunately down into the grass, up into the track, and I think the 45 of Eddie Hawks got some damage from that.
Oh man, very, very unfortunate indeed. And absolutely the back end of McManus just kicked around. He could not control it going so fast, unfortunately. And that was disastrous, but nice save by Ron McManus. That definitely could have been worse, and great awareness by the whole entire field. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here with 36 laps complete and 60 laps remaining, we'll take our first commercial break of the evening so we can thank our sponsors and so you guys can get your first round of popcorn and refreshments. We'll be right back, so please stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to round 3 here at Michigan International Speedway of the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, brought to you by the PrecisionRacingLeague.com. And for all those of you that are interested in being a part of the action, being a driver here with the PRL, check them out at PrecisionRacingLeague.com. They have so many different series you could join. So once again, check out their website, PrecisionRacingLeague.com. Well, going back to the race, we are back 1 to green, being led still by 10 of Daniel Wilborn, and right behind him on the inside is the 94 of Stephen Harry. Right on the outside, we are being led by 60 of Carlton Lane with the help of the 29 of Jim Westerfield. That caution caught some drivers at a good time, but some not so much. We are going green this time by.
Yeah, with only 57 laps to go, one more caution, we'll be able to make it the remainder, or one more pit stop, we should be able to make it the remainder of the race.
With that in mind, the final pit stop being the most important, and that pace car takes the demanding left turn and up for, oh man, banging in the back, but we are green flag racing. 10 of Danny Wilborn has gotten a very good start, but Carlton Lane saw it coming in time to be all over his rear view. 94 of Steve Harry third. Jim Westerfield here was caught sleeping on the outside line, and side by side with 61 of Josh Mayu. Nope, Mayu falls short on the exit of turn 2. Slingshot engaged by 29 of Westerfield at the exact same time. Free launch program on Mayu by 16 of Pierce, side by side. Josh Mayu left out high and dry, trying his best to catch a grip, trying his best to catch a groove. So far, having no luck. 37 of Dustin Hall all over his left rear. And man, that definitely could be very, very difficult for Josh Mayu, trying to stay consistent, trying to also maintain his spot, trying to maintain his speed, and having so much competition against him. And so far, he stays high. Dustin Hall to his inside, side by side, but another driver poking his nose into this battle, and that is a 9 of James O'Brien. And James O'Brien to the inside of 61 of Josh Mayu, as Dustin Hall was able to get around him successfully. At the exact same time, James O'Brien being a helping hand to the 11 of Brandon Massey against the 61 of Josh Mayu.
Yeah, most definitely. So they're kind of battling it out here for the top 10. Ken Carruthers right there in 10th. Meanwhile, you've got 19 Zach York, Danny DeShane, Chris Perez. You got Craig Hawkins and Eric Roberts just outside the top 10, 10 through 15.
Oh, and Dave, one driver gets sucked into the wall. That's 11 of Brandon Massey. He goes from 9th place to about 14th, 15th place in a matter of only one turn, and continues to drop as he tries his best to get that pony machine up to speed. He actually dropped down to, 14th place. And so far the speed is increasing, so hopefully he's able to make up for lost time. And a new viewer in the chat, that is Patrick York, rooting for the 19 of Zachary York. And Patrick, let us know what the relationship is between the two of you, if you don't mind. That is 19 of Zachary York. And once again, Patrick, welcome back. And 55 of Stephen Water. Stephen Water was riding in the back of the pack the first half of the race, or the first quarter of the race, and right now trying to pounce on the 41 of Perez, but Perez does defend his spot against him. So far Stephen Water backs it down. He's gonna try and back it up and regroup and get an even bigger run to go against both 41 of Perez and 28 of Eric Roberts. But so far having a roadblock zone 3 wide off turn 2. Nope, he decides to back it down once again off turn 2.
Yeah, one thing to make sure, this is a draft track, so you got to watch that draft. You got to be in the draft. You're in the draft, you're going to get more speed. You're out by yourself, you're going to run slower. So this ain't no Talladega Daytona, but it is a long 2-mile track, so the draft is definitely going to be a key factor.
Oh, definitely, man. Yeah, that draft plays a very, very key role. And as we speak, 55 of Water has backed up to the outside, but back down to the inside to try and get a run on 41 of Perez. And everybody is avoiding the bottom lane, but 55 of Water is going for it. And it goes against 41 of Perez, successfully entering turn 3. And that bumps Perez down to 16th and Water down up to 15th. And that double zero of Kyle Souza trying to make some moves as well, getting a good run against the 911 of John LeBoeuf with the draft help. And John LeBoeuf stays high. He is trying to set himself up for a good entry to turn number 1, while Kyle is on his inside. Side by side they'll go, but 911 John LeBoeuf will have a good slingshot off turn 2 with the outside line advantage.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is we approach the halfway point, taking a look at our leader, the 10 of Daniel Wilburn. He's got 14 laps since he last pitted. Everybody else came down on that pit stop. They've got 9, 8, 9, 10 laps on their tires. Now, here's the thing. We're at lap 46, now 47, 49 laps to go. These guys have to go about another 14 to 15 laps before the pit window will open for their final pit stop of the night.
Yep, that pit window is slowly creeping in, and these drivers definitely talking to their pit crews and their teammates, trying to figure out exactly when to go down pit road. I'm pretty sure they'll try and change it up, because last time, the first round of pit stops, we saw some drivers deciding to run their tanks dry, and that caution caught them at a very, very good time. But the leaders decided to pit in a little bit sooner, so they might all try and run the tanks dry for the final one. But once again, the different scenarios do play a very key role in determining. Oh, we have a driver off, wrecking the tri-oval front stretch, actually. 11 of Massey sideways. The green flag is out. Nope, the caution finally flies. But one more driver in the grass. I'm not sure exactly who that was, but 11 of Massey was sideways.
Well, as we're going to try to pull this up on the instant replay here, we're going to focus on the 11 of Brandon Massey, see if we can see exactly what happened. And what caused that is, let's take a look here. Looks like he was riding right behind the 28 of Eric Roberts as they come through the turn. And he gets into the outside wall, and it just pushes him off the wall down into the 33. John LeBoeuf barely. We're going to have to go on board with the 911. John LeBoeuf, and take a look at that from the cockpit, because he just barely misses Massey to avoid that incident. As we're going to watch this happen right here in front, riding on board with the 911 of John LeBoeuf. It's Brandon Massey and the 33 make contact, but good defensive driving there by the 911 of John LeBoeuf.
Yeah, great driving indeed. He did mow that lawn. That saves the track officials a lot of money when it comes down to it. But it would definitely unfortunate indeed for the 33 of David Dreckman and the 11 of Brandon Massey. That's Brandon Massey, who unfortunately is getting towed down to pit road as we speak. And that damage should not be as bad as it looks. So he should be able to still be competitive once he is done towing down to pit road. But up front here, Daniel Wilburn still leading. We have Johnny Pierce second, Dustin Hall third, James O'Brien fourth, Stephen Harry fifth, rounding up the top 5, and everybody going down pit road behind the leader Wilburn this time around.
Yeah, but unfortunately these guys are still going to have to pit again.
Yes, they will. We're going to be seeing a lot of drivers saving gas under this caution, and some even hoping for another caution so they can be able to make it without having to pit in another time. But fingers crossed for that. And the good thing about these drivers being not being able to make it is that despite that, they'll still be able to take less gas, or just take enough to end the race, which means less time on pit road and more time taking names on the racing surface, as one driver stays out behind that pace car 00 of Kyle Souza. And this gives us some time to get a race interview in, so let's focus on the 44 of Donovan McCart. Well, ladies and gentlemen, joining us up in the Dre Broadcasting booth is the 44 of Donovan McCart. Good to go up there, Donovan.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing good.
Well, Donovan, man, you had a heck of an appearance last week at Richmond, but that race did not start off too well for you. But tonight, man, you are staying alive, just pretty much keeping a low profile. But something tells me you will change your racing style here before too long. It will become go time. But how's the race going so far?
It's going good. The setup's working as planned. I set it up for the long runs, not really the short runs, so I don't have speed right in the first couple laps. But once the tires get warmed up and things start getting going, I start catching up on some people. So.
Oh man, very, very great and smart strategy on your part, especially when it came to that first green flag run you guys had. And Donovan, we saw a lot of sideways action, man. A lot of tail-happy machines with about 13 laps on tires. How is yours handling?
It's handling pretty good. Of course, this slows up like anybody else's setup, but about 25 laps. I mean, I lose about a second, but everybody else is losing about 2 seconds. So.
Oh, copy that, brother. Well, we are glad to hear about that. And so far, man, doing an amazing job in the 19th place spot. And with about one more pit stop required before the race ends. What's your strategy basically from now on?
I'm just hoping there's no more cautions so I can start using the setup like it's supposed to be used.
Oh, copy that, brother. Well, buddy, congrats on your success here so far. Stay alive and see you in victory lane. And that was the 44 of Donovan McCart, currently in the 19th place spot. He has talked about how his machine is set up for the long run, and unlike most some of the drivers here tonight. So basically, he is sacrificing speed. He's not as fast as they are, but he is running them down with over 13 laps. Once they're 13 laps in or more, because that's when we saw the looseness kicking in for most drivers. So great strategy by Donovan McCart, and is one of the few drivers, or I should say one of the drivers, who are really hoping for another green flag run so he can be able to use that machine to its fullest potential. Well, going back up front, we are back 1 to green. Daniel Wilborn still leading. Dustin Hall behind him in second place in line, behind him in third place. On the outside, 16 of Joni Pierce with the help of the 9 of James O'Brien. Well, during the first green flag run, before the caution came out, we noticed the drivers who went the longest on their tires put down 35 laps. So that's 35 laps. So we're going to use that as the maximum these guys can go. So if that is the case, these drivers are going to end up being 9 laps short on gas. So once it comes down to that, something tells me they'll decide to maybe take no tires at all. So ladies and gentlemen, fingers crossed, one more pit stop needed. 43 lap shootout coming up here once we go green flag racing. Oh, and I see that Patrick York and Zachary York are brothers. And thank you there, Patrick. Well, off turn 4 this time around. The pace car dips off and Wilborn puts it down the floorboard. No hesitation, but a lot of determination. The green flag is out, and Dustin Hall on the inside does miss a shift. Misses the shift and slows down enough for 16 of Pierce to get around him for second place. But right now, Dustin Hall side by side with the 9 of James O'Brien. James O'Brien, heavy foot, slingshot off turn 2 just might be engaged. Yes, it is. And he will pull away slowly but surely on the backstretch. And that's 60 Carton Lane, 77 of Ken Carruthers, 94 of Steve Harry. These drivers trying to battle it out as we speak. But 77 of Ken Carruthers to the inside of 60 of Carton Lane, side by side throughout this front stretch. He goes down to the apron, yes, the shorter way around the track with the drop help of 37 of Dustin, who then goes back up high. Entering turn 1, they are still side by side. Oh, actually, nope. Looks like Carruthers drives in way hard enough to occupy the inside of a take, the 60 off Carton Lane.
Yeah, taking a look here, 42 laps to go. So we are beyond the halfway point. We're going to go ahead and step away for another commercial break. Give everybody a chance to refill your snacks, refill your drinks. We'll be right back here at Michigan International Speedway with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to round 3 of the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, brought to you by the Precision Racing League.com. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching this live on the Dre Broadcasting Network at Michigan International Speedway. And for all those of you who'd like to be a part of the action here with the Precision Racing League, check them out at precisionracingleague.com. If you don't want to join this series, you can join a different one because they have a lot of different series going on. Road courses, ovals with the truck series, the B cars. So once again, precisionracingleague.com. For the new viewers out there, welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network. The existing and or returning viewers, welcome back to the Dre Broadcasting Network. We are glad to have you all, new or old. And for all those who've been here tonight, we hope you guys are enjoying the show this far. We have Gone Fishing TV tuning in. Welcome back, Gone Fishing TV, including I just now lost it. Gonna scroll up real quick. That is Kundai Musque. That's Kundai, welcome back as well. Hope you're doing well too.
Tell you what, Sean, though, we got a battle up front here. Daniel Wilburn, he has been overtaken by the 9 of James O'Brien, but he has not given up. He has tried multiple times to get to that inside and get that run. So we've definitely got a battle brewing here for the lead.
Oh man, yes we do. And as we speak here, Daniel Wilburn still trying to make some moves against O'Brien, but O'Brien here seems to be very, very strong in between turns number 3 and 4, while Wilburn is strong between turns number 1 and 2. So when it comes down to it, it's pretty much a stalemate. At the same time, the 10 of Wilburn is benefiting greatly from the draft of James O'Brien. At the exact same time, the more these two drivers battle, the more the 16 of Pierce is catching up. And yes, Pierce getting sideways. Oh man, he was squirrely off the exit of turn 4, but nice save by Pierce. Well, enough of a save to lose time against the two drivers, Wilburn and O'Brien.
Well, the good thing is, Sean, we are 31 laps to go. That means these guys can pit and be able to make it. Question is, are they going to push it to the extreme, run it till it's on fumes, or are they going to come down here and try to short pit and get some position?
Oh, great question indeed. And so far, seems like nobody is going down pit road just yet for their final pit stop of the evening. Gonna see exactly who goes down pit road first. Last time we had the 11 of Brandon Massey, first driver to pit in. And status check on Massey. Massey is still on pit road as we speak. So that machine is worse than we thought it was, unfortunately. And the driver is not. Brandon Massey himself is not in the car, unfortunately. So he has retired for the evening. But we look forward to seeing this driver back again in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series is off next week for Christmas and is off the week after that for New Year. So the next race is going to be January 14th. That's January 14th, round 4 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, as we're getting through the season here, it's only round 3, but I tell you what, man, it's gonna brew here. Looks like the 10 of Daniel Wilburn was able to get back around James O'Brien, back out front. Daniel Wilburn's been having a really good run here tonight. He has led 52 laps of the 67 we've ran. James O'Brien has led 9, Zach York 4, and Kyle Souza has led 1. So this will definitely be interesting if Daniel Wilburn can hold off James O'Brien, as he is actually starting to pull out and build a little gap lead over James O'Brien.
And as he builds that gap, he is catching up to the back of the pack. He has 33 of David Dreckman inside, 78 of Ron McManus inside, same with the 35 of Rory Collins. These drivers will find fifth gear here before too long. And unfortunately, these drivers all have one thing in common. They all have some kind of damage on their machines, which is most likely the reason why they're so far back in the pack, because they are lacking when it comes down to top end. And Ron McManus is the first driver, one lap down, desperately in need of a caution, so he can be able to get that lucky dog around the pace car to be back on the... Oh man, Ron McManus sideways for days. That machine is very, very loose, and he lost a lot of time off turn 4.
Yeah, most definitely. But Going up through the field here, Kyle Souza, he's running there in 17th, but looks like the rest of the field all pretty single file spread out. But we got a little pack here. It's got Dale Robertson in it, Stephen Walter, Eric Roberts, John LaBeouf. They're all battling, trying to get up into that 10th position that's being held by the 911 of John LaBeouf.
And Stephen Walter was pinned on the inside line, and right now he's trying to... Oh man, he goes sideways off turn number 2. Oh, what a heck of a save by Walter. He is still straight, pushing 180 plus as we speak. But right now, someone trying to take advantage of his mistake. That's a 99 of Brandon Walter. Side by side, they'll go through turns number 3 and 4 at the exact same time. The 3 of Robertson is on the inside of both Eric Robertson and 911 of John LaBeouf. Side by side. And 55 of Stephen Walter has recovered and is trying his best to get back at these drivers. Oh man, contact between 911 of LaBeouf and 28 of Roberts. He goes sideways, LaBeouf sideways, trying to save the machine. Contact between him and 99 of Walter, and the caution flies on lap 70 with 26 laps left.
Well, we saw that live, but we're going to back it up here and get a close-in view of the 911 of John LaBeouf, see exactly what happened. That caution's going to help some people because this is going to let them pit for the final time here tonight as we see the 911. Oh, a little bit of contact between him and the 28 of Eric Roberts. He almost saves it. He is dirt tracking it. Unfortunately, he makes contact with the 99. That shoots him up into the outside wall, but everybody else is able to get around him. But that is going to take care this is going to be the final pit stop. I bet everybody's going to come down in.
Oh, indeed, man. Very unfortunate indeed for 911 of John LaBeouf there. The difference in lifting and braking points between them. That was unfortunate, but nice save by LaBeouf. That definitely could have been worse, but that machine is now suffering as a result. But up front, the 10 of Daniel Wilborn still behind this pace car in the lead. James O'Brien second, Joni Pierce third, Destin Hall fourth, and Ken Caruthers in that 5th place spot. And yes, they should be going down pit road, every single one of them, this time around with about 22 laps on their tires and tank. And as we speak, yes, Wilborn leading everybody down pit road. And the driver in line for that lucky dog is a 33 of David Dreckman. David Dreckman's machine has seen better days, but it's still doing some damage here tonight as it gets that wave around the pace car back on the lead lap on lap 72. Oh, Dave on pit road. Wilborn missed his pit stop. Oh, twice actually. He had to back it up twice. Oh, he's still backing up as we speak. Oh man, that's a lot of time wasted trying to straighten the machine out in his pit stall. Is he still gonna win the race off pit road? Fingers crossed. Oh no. He goes from 1st place to about 6th, 7th place in on pit exit.
I'm actually showing him in 8th place.
Oh man, even worse. Yep, 7 spots lost, unfortunately. Oh wow. But not to worry, ladies and gentlemen, Wilborn is one of the fastest drivers here with the PRL. So it's going to be interesting to see him work his way through the whole entire field. And so the driver who won the race off pit road, going to see exactly who that was, the 16 of Joni Pierce. And Joni Pierce having his first win last week at Rockingham, and trying his best to have another win here tonight, his 2nd win at Michigan International. So fingers crossed for 16 of Joni Pierce. But having James O'Brien, who came out 2nd last week, he too is trying his best to move up 1 spot higher. Actually, that was not Rockingham, that was Richmond International. I do apologize, that was last week's race. Richmond International, Richmond. Well, with everybody now being able to make it the rest of the way, we're going to have a 21-lap shootout for the checkered flag. 5th gear will be engaged, and drivers like Donovan McCart, who had their machines set up for the long run, will end up changing up their racing styles with Danny Duchesne, who was loose pretty much all race long. Speaking of Danny Duchesne, let's actually get a word in with him. Danny Duchesne, that is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, joining us up here in the Dre broadcasting booth is 27 of Danny Duchesne. Get up there, Danny.
Hey, hello.
How you doing tonight?
Oh, doing pretty good. Having fun tonight.
Oh man, very, very glad to hear that. And Danny, man, you've done more dirt action than a lot of machines on ice. How's the machine handling tonight for you on your from your point of view?
After 4 or 5 laps, the tires are like driving on ice. It's hard to keep the car on the track there. I had a couple of mishaps and almost hit the wall a couple of times there on the inside.
Oh man, that does sound very, very eventful, but nice saves overall. And how are you handling it? Basically, what's your solution to countering that? Are you making any changes on pit road?
Well, yeah, I lower the tire pressure a bit, and it seems to give me more grip though, so it's better for the second half of the race there.
Oh, copy that, man. Very, very glad to hear that you were able to find a solution to your problem. And man, you are now 1 to green with a 21 lap shootout coming up. So Danny, where do you see yourself on lap 95?
Well, I hope my car will be in one piece and in the top 10.
Oh, copy that, brother. Well, good luck to you and see you in victory lane.
Hey, thank you very much.
That was 27 of Danny Duchesne, restarting in the 16th place spot behind the 29 of Jim Westerfield. We are back 1 to green, being led up front by the 16 of Johnny Pierce with the help of 37 of Dustin Hall. On the outside, the 9 of James O'Brien leading the outside with the help of the 60 of Carlton Lane. We are going green, 21 lap shootout on the way. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. Put your seatbelts on. Put 3 or 4 seatbelts on, because 1 or 2 will not do the trick. So much action going on. And fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen, the gloves are off. Off turn for the green flag. Oh, the pace car dips off, and the 16 of Pierce finds that gas pedal immediately, but everybody sees it coming, and the 9 of James O'Brien overtaking, he's inside occupied by the 60 of Lane and the 37 of Dustin Hall, side by side between turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, as we take a look here from the Goodyear blimp, I mean, we got a lot of battles here. We know the 10 of Daniel Wilburn, he has already gained 2 positions. Make that 3 or 2 as he's 3 as he's moved up from 8th to 5th already. He is now working underneath the 77 of Ken Caruthers.
And Dave, we had a mishap there, between second place and third place drivers, James O'Brien and Dustin Hall. They made contact, and James O'Brien has fallen back in the pack behind the 19 of Zach York in that 9th place position, and is trying his best to get back up there, the best that he can on the inside of 19 of Zach York, side by side at the exact same time up front. Yes, the 10 of Wilborn to the inside of Dustin Hall as they both dropped off the 60 off Carlton Lane.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, James O'Brien dropped all the way back to 8th, but Daniel Wilborn, he is on a roll. He has just moved up into the 3rd position, now looking down underneath the 60 of Colton Lane. So he is not done. He has won that lead. He has led the most laps here tonight, led 57 laps, and he is just, I tell you what, he's got that thing on rails.
Oh, yes, he does. He is now up to the 2nd place spot. That's the 2nd place spot. 1 spot behind the cake. That is the leader, the 16 of Johnny Pierce, last week's winner at Richmond International. And so far, they are about 8/10 of a second apart. And the draft is still in effect here in this range, 0.8 seconds. So here before too long, he just might run him down with the help of the draft. Unfortunately, the 16 of Pierce would like to pull away, but that is easier said than done with the draft in existence like this. And 77 of Ken Caruthers here. Ken Caruthers currently in the 4th place spot, behind the 37 of Dustin Hall and ahead of the 60 of Carlton Lane. And speaking of Caruthers, last time we checked on Caruthers, he had some damage in the back of the pack in 23rd, but now up to 4th place, being the heaviest mover this far.
Yeah, most definitely is Daniel Wilburn. I mean, we are 18 laps to go here on just kind of barreling through here, but Daniel Wilburn, he has closed that gap to just 5/10 behind Johnny Pierce. Going a little back, James O'Brien, he has moved up into 7th as he is trying to battle the 94 machine right now. That unfortunately, I think he is a lap down. Actually, take a look here. No, he's not. He is in 6th. So James O'Brien now battling Stephen Harry for that 6th position. Greg Hawkins, though, he's back here in 9th, just running single file. Zach York is going to round out our top 10.
And that 41 of Chris Perez. Chris Perez here is having a little bit of clean air, but his next victim so far is the 28 of Eric Roberts. At the exact same time, Perez is trying to keep back or hold back 61 of Josh Mayu, but Josh Mayu is about 6 to 9 tenths of a second behind him, so no harm just yet. Not yet an immediate threat. And status check on the 00 of Kyle Souza. Kyle Souza behind the 14 of Poe D. Johnson, and Johnson last time we checked was 7 laps down, but is now back to 3 laps down. Actually, that was Jeffrey Ford who was 7 laps down, and Jeffrey Ford is now 6 laps down, while Johnson, who was 2 laps down at the time, is now being shown 3 laps down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, we've only got, taking a look here, 21 cars still on the lead lap, but we do have 27 machines still out on the track.
Yep, so many drivers still on the lead lap indeed. Unfortunately, very unfortunate for all those who were being shown a lap or more down, had some rough starts tonight, and they are definitely hoping or in need of some cautions here so they can be able to get those laps back. And so far, 15 laps remaining. It is go time with every man for himself. So far, the teamwork is out of the window for the most part. And as we speak, Ken Carruthers behind the 37 of Dustin Hall. At the exact same time, up front, top 2 drivers, Johnny Pierce, Daniel Wilburn. Last time we checked on this gap, it was 0.8 of a second, but now it's down to 0.3 of a second, 0.5 less.
Yeah, taking a look at our race report here as we're on the closing laps, 14 laps to go. 3 cautions here tonight, 8 caution laps, but we've had 7 lead changes here tonight. Fastest lap of the night was set by Daniel Wilburn with a 39.804.
Yeah, congrats to all these drivers leading some laps here. 7 lead changes and most likely a few more to come here with 14 laps remaining. And for the back in this pack of 94 of Steve Harry. Steve Harry still being able to be sandwiched between the 60 of Cotton Lane and James O'Brien, holding off James O'Brien while trying to catch up the 60 of Cotton Lane. At the exact same time, the 3 of Robertson. Robertson here so far is currently in the 8th place spot between James O'Brien and 23 of Craig Hawkins. And tonight, Dale Robertson has kept a low profile. It has seemed like he did start 3rd, is currently 8th place, and trying his best to catch up to the 9 of James O'Brien with his different race groove, going very high off the exit of 4 with a slingshot.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we're counting down the time here. It's getting close. 12 laps to go. Daniel Wilburn still 0.3 behind our leader, Johnny Pierce. Johnny Pierce has been leading. Question is, did Daniel Wilburn burn up his stop trying to get to him?
And Dave, some 2 drivers under pressure, under fire here is the include 23 of Craig Hawkins, 19 of Zachary York. These drivers trying to battle it out at the exact same time. 55 of Stephen Walter is right behind them, ready to pounce at any moment. He will pounce on the weaker driver, or the driver who seems to be in the weaker position. But off turn for 55 of Walter goes to the inside of 19. Oh, he chopped his nose off. That was close. That could have been deadly. That could have been disastrous, but we are still green flag racing. No harm done, but 55 of Water is not done. He drives it way hard into the inside of 19 of York. They're gonna make contact, but no harm done still.
Well, I mean, you got to do everything you can. Every position is a point. Points are important here. So, I mean, Stephen Walter, got to give him credit, but here comes York. He's coming back on the outside. York now making a move, trying to get to the inside of the 23 of Craig Hawkins. Looks like Walter is just on rails there as we are 10 to go.
Yep, and Walter's sideways action off turn 4 does lose him his speed and momentum in the spot against the 19 of York. At the same time, now he has bigger problems. The 41 of Chris Perez all over his rear view. It's only a matter of time before 41 of Perez starts to apply pressure. But as we speak here, we have the 19 of York trying to get the in. Oh, we have Stephen Walter having some trouble with that machine. That was almost deadly, but nice save by Walter. He has regrouped and is trying his best to get back to the back bumper of 19 of York at the exact same time, trying his best to keep the 41 of Perez behind him.
Going back up front, though, we're going to watch this battle here. Daniel Warburton was able to catch and get around Johnny Pierce. He is back out front with 9 laps to go, but Pierce is still right there on his bumper, ready to pounce.
Yes, he is. And Dave, you talked about how maybe Wilborn had burned up his stuff, working his way through the field towards the front. But he seems to be proving us wrong for now. But the race is not over until it's over. But 16 of Pierce is very, very loose. He was loose enough to increase the gap between him and Wilborn, unfortunately, off the exit of turn 4. But he is following the line of, or the path of Wilborn to try and get the benefit of that draft. They are only 4/10 apart. The draft is still in range. I say they're still in draft range. I say Johnny Pierce is in the draft range of the 10 of Wilborn. And for the back in this pack, the 60 of Colton Lane trying to hold off 77 of Ken Caruthers side by side. Oh man, side by side off the exit of turn number 2. But Caruthers goes back down in line behind the 60 of Colton Lane as they almost made contact off the exit of 2 entering turn 3. Still nose to tail this time around. Look at that, the 9 of James O'Brien's next victim being the 94 of Stephen Harry. But Harry holding his own here so far in the 6th place spot. His next victim is the driver holding the keys and the door to the top 5. That is 77 of Caruthers, but 9 of James O'Brien off turn 2 to the inside of 94 of Harry. But Harry slingshot engaged off turn 2 and will maintain that spot against O'Brien for now. But O'Brien is not done just yet. He goes back to the inside of Harry, and Harry will lose that spot on the exit of turn 4 as James O'Brien tries to go up high to defend that spot, but is not clear. And they are still side by side a little bit this time around, entering turn 1. But look at that, Dave, one driver who is poking his nose into this battle following the line of the 9 of O'Brien is that 3 of Darryl Robertson, side by side now with 94 of Harry, who's not in the clear just yet. He is trying his best to get back up in front of these 2 drivers, Robertson and James O'Brien, but that is difficult.
Yeah, most definitely, but taking a look up front, Daniel Wilburn, he has pulled out 8/10 over Johnny Pierce. Dustin Hall sitting there in 3rd. Colton Lane sitting there in 4th, but he has got the 77 of Ken Caruthers right there. But right behind him, the battle you was talking about, side by side, Dale Robertson, James O'Brien, as we take the 5 to go coming into turn number 1.
5 to go. These drivers realizing this is the time, and the next flag, ladies and gentlemen, ends the race. So these drivers trying to be in the best spot possible, knowing that the next flag ends the race. But James O'Brien propels past the 3 of Robertson, and for the back in this pack, some more drivers battling it out. We have the 99 of Walter side by side with the 61 of Josh Mayu as we speak. Brandon Walter gets clear of the 61 of Josh Mayu. His next victim now is the 27 of Danny Duchesne. At the exact same time, Josh trying to keep up with the 99 of Brandon Walter to keep behind the 911 of John LaBeouf. And John LaBeouf, despite his damage, is still flying and countering that damage quite well with the use of the draft and his heavy foot.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got an issue right here. It's gonna help the 16 of Johnny Pierce. Daniel Wilburn's catching up to slower traffic. Is that going to slow him down? Is that going to let the 16 to get back up? Is Daniel Wilburn gets around Ronald McManus, no problem, but he's still got a couple more slower lap cars. question is he going to be able to get around him? Is it going to slow it up? Doesn't look like it, because Johnny Pierce has now dropped back to 1.1 second behind him.
Oh man, yep, and now Wilborn overtaking the 33 of David Dreckman this time around. Has Johnny Pierce definitely hoping that this slower traffic slows down Wilborn, his biggest opponent here so far, but now coming down to 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go on the exit of turn 4. Well, we're coming down to 2 laps to go here in less than 2 seconds.
Yep, 2 laps to go, so next time around they're going to get the white flag. Daniel Wilburn leading 1.3 seconds. Dustin Hall sitting right there in third. He's about 2.8 seconds behind Daniel Wilburn. Colton Lane, he's there in fourth, but he's still got a battle because he's still got the 77 of Ken Caruthers all over that back bumper.
And we had one driver in the grass mowing the lawn. Unfortunately, that was the 27 of Danny Duchesne. Talked about how only 4 laps in, his tires seem to have been going away. But he was able to save it, and the green flag is still out. But as we go back to the leader up front of turn 4 for the white flag.
White flag is in the air, Sean.
White flag is in the air as these drivers now giving it their all at this point. Bring the checkered flag home. That's a checkered flag home, or the steering wheel home, and nothing in between is acceptable. Johnny Pierce, Danny Wilborn, 1.6 seconds apart. The closest drivers we have here so far would be 19 of Zach York and the 55 of Stephen Walter here as we speak. At the same time, Kyle Souza and the 61 of Josh Mayu. But up front here, 10 of Wilborn is still putting more drivers' laps down as he goes off turn 4 for the final time. This time around, brings this thing home and challenged. And 16 of Johnny Pierce not too far behind him, 1.7 seconds behind, and comes out in second place. 37 of Dustin Hall third, the 60 Colton Lane fourth, 77 of Ken Caruthers fifth, rounding up the top 5 here tonight at Michigan International for round 3. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we interview the top 3 drivers, we'll be riding with the 10 of Wilborn for his victory lap. And also we see a smoke show here before too long, so please stay tuned. Well, ladies and gentlemen, joining us up in the Dre Broadcasting booth are the top second and third place drivers, Johnny Pierce and Dustin Hall, as we try to locate our winner tonight, the 10 of Daniel Wilborn. We're gonna start with tonight's race, tonight's second place finisher, the 16 of Johnny Pierce. Get a cup there, Johnny.
I got you, man.
How you doing tonight?
Oh, not too bad. We'll take a second place to overclock any day of the week.
Oh man, yeah, after having some great success last week and tonight, man, still in the podium with the SimTech Racing team. How's your experience tonight, man, compared to last week? How were you able to adapt going from such a short track to a long track that had some serious tire wear?
Yeah, we definitely, everybody was struggling this week trying to keep the car up under them, especially as you got deeper into the run. Shout out to iRacing, man. I just feel like they really took this build in the right direction, and they've given us a great car to race.
Oh,
tonight was proof of it.
Oh man, copy that. We are very glad to hear about. How this build has helped you here tonight. And Johnny, we noticed the looseness in the machine there towards the very end of these runs. Tell us how were you able to counter that?
Take your foot off the loud pedal. That's about all you could do.
Oh, absolutely, man. Well, man, you stayed alive here tonight. Michigan International, he made up a lot of time. And give us a rundown of your green flag pit stops. Tell us about what your strategy was, basically, because we noticed some drivers decided to go in as late as possible, while some decided to follow the leader.
Yeah, I don't know. We were just kind of winging it, man. I think the way the race played out, it just had everybody kind of guessing, but we just tried to follow suit with Overclock, and that's what works for our team. We just kind of, Overclock's been very good to us, and we just try to mimic them, and it pays dividends, man.
Oh, 10-4, brother. Well, congrats on your success here tonight at Michigan International for tonight's race, after last week's race 2 at Richmond. And next race is going to be in 2 weeks at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So, buddy, enjoy the break. And before I let you go, man, before I let you go celebrate, any final words you'd like to say?
Yeah, just congrats to Daniel, man. The best car won it tonight. I thought he was going to get messed up on that pit stop, or that caution that came out there, but he recovered, man, and they definitely had the car to beat, and I'm glad it worked out for him.
Thank you, Johnny. Congrats on your success once again, buddy. Go celebrate and see you again in 2 weeks.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
That was the Simtech Racing driver 16 of Johnny Pierce. But next in line is the 37 of Dustin Hall. Gotta go up there, Dustin.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I do.
Good, how are you?
Doing well, thanks.
Well, Dustin, here tonight, you did have one of the fastest machines out there. Give us a rundown of your race, of your experience tonight.
Oh, man. Not much I can say other than just hold on to the thing. It was wicked loose after about 9 laps. And anybody who knows me knows I don't drive one sideways. So it was definitely a personal challenge, and it worked out good.
Oh, 10-4, man. Very glad to hear about that. And Dustin, this week you've come a long way from last week, Richmond. You finished in the 22nd place spot, representing the Simtech Racing team as well. And tonight, moving up a lot of spots higher, finishing in the 3rd place spot, still in the podium. And that was a very great success on your part. And what was your, what did you have to do basically to plan for tonight's race?
I tell you, a lot of laps. We worked hand in hand with Chris Roberts over at Overclock and Johnny here at Simtech. Those guys are just a plethora of knowledge, and I just try and absorb as much of it as I can. Last week I worked just as hard, and I feel like 2 mental errors just cost me. I know I had a top 3 car there, and I blew it last week. I just flat out blew it. But this week it was nice to actually put the work on display.
Oh, can't be that, man. We're glad to see the heck of a comeback, man, from last week to tonight's race at Michigan International Speedway. And speaking of that, man, with you coming back this much, do you expect to see yourself maybe 2 spots higher next race in 2 weeks at Las Vegas?
Oh man, that would be exciting. That'd be awesome, and I'll put in the work. Hopefully it pays off.
Oh, 10-4, buddy. Well, Dustin, any final words before we go celebrate? Any final words?
Yeah, real quick, I want to shout out to Daniel. Way to wheel that thing, man. Also James. I'm open to talk. My phone's open. We had that little bit of contact, and not the way I wanted it to go for you. It was a great time running with you, and I apologize if that was my doing. Otherwise, shout out to my family. They watch religiously. They get a kick out of you guys, and we appreciate you guys and all you do. PRL, all you guys do.
Well, congrats on your success here tonight there, Dustin, representing the Simtech Racing team, and see you again in 2 weeks. Well, buddy, go celebrate and have fun.
All right, thank you, sir.
Simtech Racing driver right there. That's 37 of Dustin Hall with his teammate. Tonight, 2nd place finish at 16 of Johnny Pierce. But now moving on to last season's long run driver, last season's biggest alien, one of the biggest aliens, the 10 of Daniel Wilborn. Gonna go up there, Danny.
Yeah, I got a copy.
How you doing tonight?
Feeling really good. How y'all doing?
Oh, doing good too, thank you. Well, tonight, Danny, you did an amazing job as expected. You did qualify on the pole and ended up having some bad luck there in the middle during the pit stop under caution and was able to somehow make up for lost time. Well, give us a rundown of your race tonight when it comes to the new build on iRacing.
Yeah, I really like this new build. It's going to make a driver out of you. Either going to burn up your tires in the beginning or going to be a long run driver. Just gotta really be patient with this new build. And in the beginning of the race, it was a little loose, but yeah, Chris helped me with the changes, and it became a rocket, especially at the end of the race.
Oh, most definitely. And Danny, I should ask this question, man. You've seemed to be, once again, a long driver in the long run last season and this season so far tonight in tonight's race in Michigan. What's your secret to being fast and conservative at the exact same time? Because that's very difficult and nearly impossible to achieve.
Just a whole lot of throttle control, really, and just not really trying to burn up the tires in the beginning to run faster times in the previous laps. Just if I run like a 3, I don't want to hit a 2. I just want to stay consistent like that, because I don't want to burn the tires up.
Oh, very, very nicely said indeed, and very successful at the exact same time. And Daniel, when it comes down to what we talked about, the you being sent to about 8th, 9th place during that one pit stop, and you working your way through the field in only 2 to 3 laps. How do you feel that affected your machine? Because we ended up thinking that you ended up burning your stuff on your trip to the front, but that was not the case.
Nah, I really didn't burn it up too much. I mean, I thought it was gonna be at a disadvantage when I messed up on pit road, but luckily Chris made some changes where we could move through the front without getting wrecked or being held up, because I thought I was done. I thought I needed a caution right there.
Oh, most definitely. Well, congrats on the success, man, despite that little mishap on pit road. And that is amazing seeing you race here with the PRL every single week that you race here with us. And once again, congrats on the success every single race. Oh, but any final words before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, I definitely like to thank Chris for the setup. We've been working all week on it, trying to get it down. I like to thank Johnny and Dustin for a good hard racing right there, and just a good race from everyone else, and for y'all doing the broadcast.
Well, congrats on the success there, Danny, doing the Overclock Motorsports team extra proud, and see you back again in 2 weeks at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Go celebrate.
All right, thank you. Y'all have a good night.
That was tonight's race winner, the 10 of Daniel Wilborn with the Overclock Motorsports team. So we had Daniel Wilborn, Overclock Motorsports, Joni Pierce, Simtech Racing, and Dustin Hall, Simtech Racing as well. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, was round 3 of the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, brought to you by the PrecisionRacingLeague.com. Well, Dave, any thoughts?
Yeah, it was a great race. These guys did a great job as they battled out here. Unfortunately, gonna miss them 2 weeks off, but can't wait to come back and get the racing going again.
Oh, absolutely, man. Coming back to another fast track. And this is another even faster track, because unlike this track, Michigan, it does have a lot more banking, because this one has little to no banking. So that's going to be Las Vegas Motor Speedway round 4, and that's January 14th. That's January 14th, ladies and gentlemen. So in 2 weeks, because once again, PRL is off next week for Christmas, and the week after that for New Year. So January 14th for round number 4. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being a part of the action here tonight on the Dre Broadcasting Network, round 3 of the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series here at Michigan International Speedway. And we look forward to seeing you guys again next race. And the next broadcast is going to be tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night with the Extreme Motorsports 99.com Pro K&N Series. So if you guys would like to be a part of that as well, check us out tomorrow, right here on the Dre Broadcasting Network for the Extreme Motorsports 99. For the new viewers out there in the chat, once again, welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network. The existing and or returning viewers, welcome back. We are glad to see every one of you race after race. We do appreciate the support and also helping the Dre Broadcasting Network cross their mark of 500 subscribers in actually less than 1 year, and that is a record right there, ladies and gentlemen. And if you are new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so get notified every single time we go live, because we are live at least 4 to 5 nights a week, so you guys are kept entertained almost every day of the week. I am Sean Zulu and David Everly, and check out the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday series at theprecisionracingleague.com. Have a good night and thanks for watching.